Oh, hey there, and welcome to episode 2 of QuaranTIPS. Today, we're talking about food, one of my favorite topics. And I'm going to tell you how we made this healthy dish in just a second. We're actually going to be joined by someone from our church who has her bachelor's in nutrition and is a certified health education specialist. Now, during this time of the quarantine, it is really easy to get lazy. It is really easy to maybe, gain a few extra pounds. And actually, society is telling us, hey, go eat out, eat out, eat out, which you should do in some moderation. So we're going to show you how you can have some healthy cooking, healthy living at home. Check it out. Hey guys, I am here at Matt and Karishma's house. They are members of our church, and Karishma is a little bit of a cooking extraordinaire. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
She loves to cook. She always posts all these amazing things she cook, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And I like to cook. I'm pretty good at it. So we're at their house. She's gonna walk us through. I just gotta throw out there, I'm borrowing her husband, Matt's apron. Yes, it's pink. I'm just gonna throw Matt under the bus right there. So anyway, Karishma, what are we cooking today?
So we're making a Southwest quinoa salad with a lot of healthy ingredients like chicken, quinoa, black beans, corn, some veggies here, and then we have a few ingredients to make a really yummy dressing that we'll pour on top of it.
Awesome. Now, here's what I like about this. This isn't complex, is it?
No, it's pretty easy.
Okay, cool. Well, what is the first thing in a recipe like this that you need to start with?
Definitely you want to start with the grains, or what's going to take the longest time to cook. So the grains and the protein. So you wouldn't really want to start chopping all these things up if your quinoa wasn't done.
Okay, so we got some dry quinoa right there out of the package. Let's go cook that real quick.
All right, let's do it.
Boom, just like that, just like they do on Sesame Street. All of a sudden, we got some cooked quinoa right there. Okay, now what's next?
We would do the chicken next.
Okay, let's hammer that out.
Okay. All right, here's our diced chicken.
Perfect. All you did, what did you do? Grill that?
I just threw it in the oven, 375 for about 20 minutes.
Cool. And then chopped it up. Mm-hmm. All right, awesome. Seems easy enough. What's next?
So what we're gonna do is put together the dressing first, have that sit aside, and then we'll start chopping up some of these veggies.
Cool.
All right, so the dressing in this recipe is pretty simple. We have 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm just gonna pour that right in there. And we have a tablespoon of honey. Ooh. I'm gonna get a rubber spatula so I can get all that yummy honey out of there.
You don't wanna miss any of that.
It's gonna get stuck, yep. My favorite tool in the kitchen is probably rubber spatulas, believe it or not, because they are so useful. All right, got our honey in there. Next, we're gonna do a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. If you have stone ground mustard or a different kind of mustard, you can definitely use it. That's what's so great about this recipe is you can sub a lot of ingredients into it. Next, we have garlic. I go a little heavy with the garlic because we love garlic in our house.
I feel like you can never have too much garlic.
Agreed.
I make lots of soups and I just go crazy. It's like 3 cloves, 8 cloves. What's the difference, right?
I just throw a big handful of garlic.
I love it.
Next, we're gonna have some chili powder. So it's gonna add just a little bit of kick to it, a little bit of flavor to it. We have a half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. And then the last ingredient is 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. So why don't you cut that open? I'm gonna hand you a knife.
She trusts me with a knife. This may be scary.
And a cutting board. And we'll measure out 2 tablespoons.
That good to squeeze, or do you want to go smaller than that? Right. Okay. So how are we doing this?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm making a mess.
That's one of the fun things about being in the kitchen is you can be creative, you can kind of make a mess.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna add that in there for that nice zesty flavor. And that's it for our dressing. So we just stir that up and put that aside so all those flavors can kind of combine together. That was pretty easy, right?
That was really easy. And I mean, all those ingredients, you would say pretty healthy, right? There's nothing like weighty fat. I mean, so many dressings and stuff you can get from the store or you get from a restaurant seem like they throw so much in there that makes you feel a little more sluggish.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just pantry friendly ingredients too, mustard, chili powder, things people usually have in their pantry. So the next step, let's get chopping a little bit. I'm gonna give you this jalapeno.
I'll take it.
And I'm gonna start with the onion.
What's the difference between how do you chop compared to how do you dice?
So a dice is usually one a small square piece of food. So when a recipe calls you to dice something, you really want to try to get a square out of that. So my tip for cooking onions is to cut it in half like I just did and peel the skin away. There's a little bit more skin here I'm gonna get. So what I'm gonna do is take my knife and go in like this 3 times, and then go in straight down like this. And then go across and you get a nice easy dice just like that.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, what's kind of nice about cutting maybe vegetables and things like jalapenos or bell peppers is that if you kind of mess it up or make a wrong cut, when you're dicing or you're chopping, it's kind of okay, right? Because you're just getting smaller.
Absolutely, yep.
You just keep on cutting until it feels right.
Yes. And using a sharp knife is really important too. A lot of knife injuries happen when your knife's actually dull, so you're having to kind of push harder or cut in a different way that you normally would. So make sure you keep your knife sharp as well.
A way you know you're becoming old and like an adult is for Christmas. Sarah actually got me a knife for Christmas, and it was one of my favorite gifts.
And you
I wasn't even
appreciate
mad
it,
about
right?
it. Yeah. She's like, I know you cut, and that's some of the problem we have is some of our knives were like terrible, and I tried to sharpen them, and they just not good quality, and I was so happy.
Yeah, invest in a good set of knives, I would say, is really, really important in the kitchen, because you have to have the right tools to be able to create good stuff. So I'm just going into this bell pepper here, also giving it a little dice.
Now you make a lot of food. As we're dicing, as we're cutting up, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food is actually movie theater popcorn.
Yes! Did you guys go, and when you say movie theater, you mean Harkin, right?
I'm not picky.
Come on,
We're kind of AMC fans.
AMC popcorn is awful. It's been sitting in that machine for like 10 days.
Hey, if I can get movie theater popcorn, I'm not complaining.
So, here's the question. Did you go to Harkins, though, recently on these weekends when they've been selling a bag of popcorn?
You know, I follow them on Facebook, so I did see they were doing that, but we did not go do a curbside pickup for the popcorn.
I did. You know how long I waited in line?
30 minutes.
About 45.
Woo!
I'm like, what else am I going to do?
For a bag of
We're
popcorn?
quarantined. The bag was like this big. And my kids watched like 10 movies out of it. Those 10 movies were all frozen, but it was great. They were happy because they got to eat some popcorn.
That sounds good. Yeah, I love popcorn, but I also love pizza as my other favorite.
Pizza and popcorn. That sounds healthy. I like that.
Well, you can make pizza and popcorn pretty healthy. Like I make my own homemade pizza at home with tons of veggies on top, so I don't feel as guilty.
I like that. That's good. I'm a Mexican food person. I'll take any sort of Mexican food.
Perfect. And I'm just going to cut this in half and we can kind of...
Share it? Okay.
Yeah, we can kind of tag team that.
And the same thing. We're not slicing this one. We're dicing it?
So you're going to go in half like this.
Okay.
Yep. Put it down. This is going to be kind of quartered. And then go in like this. So kind of like a quarter round. I love cucumber. It's one of my favorite vegetables. I can just snack on plain cucumber. Without any dip. It's one of my favorites.
I can snack on plain Oreos with dip or anything.
No dip for your Oreos? Oh.
No, I'm just good. Just the whole sleeve of Oreos and I'm happy.
That's a sacrifice. So look how good this is looking. I love all the color. One of the tips I have to boost the nutrition value of something you're making is to try to include as much color as possible, because nutrition research tells us that each different color has different nutrients in it.
Really?
So you have yellow, red, green, red onion. That's all going to be different nutrients that you're getting into your meal, packing into your meal.
And if we're really honest though, doesn't it just look way cooler when you post it on Instagram too?
It also is cool. That color
a
pops.
green salad, it's like, lame. Like, but when you get all this color in it, boom. You look like a master chef.
Yeah. What's something great about this recipe too is you can make it your own. So, you know, if you want to put some sliced carrots in here, because you just love carrots and you want that crunch, great. You know, if you have some leftover roasted veggies, you can even add that if you want. This stores up to 4 to 5 days in the fridge, so it's great for meal prep as well. When all this craziness is over and we're all back to work and you want to have some healthy meals, you can meal prep this for your lunches for the week.
Awesome.
For work.
You know, that's what my wife Sarah and I have been doing, is she found some pumpkin puree crazy soup and she made it and has got like 5 meals out of it. That's fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, meal prep is great. You know, one pot meals, things like that are really, really great. All right, well, we're ready to start combining. So you're gonna see how easy this all comes together. This is gonna be our final bowl. So first ingredient you wanna put in is the quinoa. This was 3/4 cup uncooked quinoa, so when it cooks up and soaks up the water, it definitely becomes a lot more. So we have that in there.
And quinoa is like a healthier substitute for rice?
Yeah, quinoa is a whole grain, so what that means is it has the fiber and the nutrients in it. You can definitely substitute brown rice or any other kind of grain. I would really stay away from white rice. There's really no nutritional value in white rice.
It tastes good.
It does taste good, but I would, as a general rule, try to stay away from white rice and go with what we call whole grain. So quinoa, brown rice, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and add black beans. You could substitute any kind of beans if you don't like black beans.
What are your favorite kind of bean?
Definitely, yeah, black beans.
White, pinto.
Black beans.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with black beans. When I was a kid, I only like refried beans. And then, you know, I grew up and was like, oh, black beans actually taste really good.
Yeah. All right, well, you can add your jalapeno and your cucumbers in there.
If a seed makes it in,
That's not a big
my
deal.
bad. It's good to have a little bit of a kick.
Yes.
I like a little spice.
You can adjust kind of the spice as you want with the jalapeno.
I'm a spice with flavor though. That's why I love jalapeno, because it's got that rich flavor to it. I don't like spice for the sake of spice.
Yeah. And would you kind of toss that for me a little bit, mix it up?
Sure.
I'll get our chicken ready. That cilantro smells so good. That's one
I
of my
love it.
favorite ingredients. Oh, look how colorful that looks. This is so nutritious, you guys. You have a complete meal right here because the black beans and the quinoa have a lot of protein and fiber in them. So you can actually not do add chicken or fish to it if you don't want, and it is a complete meal nutritionally sound. But you know, if you want to amp up the protein even more, make it even more filling, you would add some chicken. So you know, if you shred up some chicken and you're looking for ways to use it, yeah, that's a great use of chicken and also fish. So, oh yeah.
As you stir this, you just smell all that aroma coming out.
Yep. And this salad is definitely best eaten cold. But yeah, it's just, you know, once we put the dressing on, stir it up, it's just ready to serve and it is super yummy. I'm gonna give this one more stir just to combine everything again. And we're gonna go in like that. Remember, we have honey in there for a little sweetness, the chili powder in there for a little spiciness, so it's gonna be really, really good.
I really just agreed to do this so Krishma could cook us dinner for tonight.
Yeah, I'll send you home because this is too much for me to eat.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, so this is the finished product. Again, you can add or subtract or substitute ingredients to whatever your preferences are like. If you don't like cilantro, you know, you could do other fresh herbs. You can do dill. You can add feta, cheese, and olives for more of a Greek or Mediterranean twist on it. So you can really do whatever you want with this dish. You can put curry powder in the dressing too if you like that flavor. So yeah, this is the final product.
So it's a little bit of your own creation, and you know, you said Southwest quinoa salad, but how do you get to this point? Like, so say someone's watching and they're like, I don't know anything about nutrition. I don't know where to start. I learned everything I know about nutrition from McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. And growing up, didn't know how to cook. Like, where do I begin?
Yeah, the confusing thing about nutrition is there's so much misinformation out there. So it's really about starting with the basics and learning nutrition, learning the food groups and what they are. So a really great resource to check out is www.choosemyplate.gov. And what that resource does is it's a website, they have an app, and it has all the different food groups in there, and you can click into them, you can learn about what fruits are, why they're good for you, and then you can also access a whole database of recipes. And my favorite thing about the recipe part of their website is that you can filter by cost or ingredients. Hey, I only have chicken and this, and it'll put some recipes together for you that you can make. So that's an amazing, amazing resource. And there's also a visual that's really great, which is a plate, and it has the plate divided into fruits, vegetables, grains, and proteins, and then dairy. And so you can kind of understand and learn a little bit about how, when you look at your plate, what it should kind of look like. Okay, there should be some protein on there, but also some fruits and vegetables as part of kind of a balanced meal.
So that plate is kind of like that terrible pyramid we had growing up, and
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I don't know how that pyramid got approved to be sent out to the masses, but yeah, when I was a kid, there was this really confusing pyramid because the top of the pyramid was the foods you shouldn't eat, but it's the top of the pyramid, so it didn't really make a lot of sense.
You want to get to the top of the pyramid. That's the point of a pyramid, right?
Well, the top of the pyramid was things you should eat sparingly, as they said. So
right.
they revamped that a lot and have a lot easier kind of nutrition guidelines to follow, but I really encourage you to go to choosemyplate.gov to learn more about foods and learn more about healthy recipes that you can create for you and your family.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you guys for joining us, and I hope this Quaran tip is useful to you in this time of isolation, of how you can eat a little healthier right now. So thank you for joining us.